Right now, a Wisconsin-based beagle breeder and experimentation facility appearing in court over alleged animal cruelty, what a Dane County judge decided. Also, early voting now underway in Wisconsin. We hear from a Verona clerk what they thought about the turnout there. And later, we take a look at the impact the Madison city referendum could have on residents, what a no vote could mean for some of the city's day-to-day services. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 6. Ridgeland Farms has been under fire for many years from animal rights groups for alleged animal cruelty practices. And today, a hearing was held on whether to bring charges against the company. News 3 Now's Kyle Pozorski was at the Dane County Courthouse with the decision.
Powerful testimony being given Wednesday against the Blue Mountains breeder. The group, spearheaded by animal rescuer Wayne Schoen, is bringing forth the hearing, all to ask for the appointment of a special prosecutor, along with bringing animal cruelty charges against Ridgeland. Schoen visited Ridgeland in 2017, rescuing 3 beagles at that time. He was criminally charged for doing so. However, the case was dismissed earlier this year. Schoen spoke at length about what he witnessed inside Ridgeland.
With some of the behavioral issues that were sort of immediately obvious to me, suggesting not just distress, but what I would describe as psychosis.
Scott Gilbertson is one of 2 former workers testifying. He worked at Ridgeland from December 2021 to January of 2022.
Were the dogs ever taken on walks?
No.
Did they ever go outside?
No.
Were they ever let out of the cages at all?
Only to be moved to the back portion where they'd be shipped out.
So they were only ever let out to move from one cage to a different cage?
Right.
After an exhaustive day of testimony, Judge Rhonda Langford deciding to move the case to a post-trial briefing. We spoke with Schoen about what he hopes will come next.
I'm just really grateful that we finally gotten a chance to go to bat for the dogs in court.
Representatives from Ridgeland were not present for Wednesday's hearing. At the Dane County Courthouse, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
Sun Prairie East High School will have a new principal for the rest of the school year, according to a message sent to staff. Renee Coleman will no longer serve in that role. She had held the position since 2021. A reason for that departure was not given. Associate Athletic Director Jim Ertel will serve as interim principal for the rest of the year. Administrators say a search for a new principal will begin early next year. We now know the identity of the person who died after crashing their car into the Yahara River. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office says 47-year-old Christopher Mosby of Fitchburg died early Monday after his car went into the water. That happened near the West Broadway and Pirate Island area. A Monona police officer found the vehicle upside down in the water about 1 in the morning. Preliminary results show Mosby died from drowning. His death remains under investigation. Quiet and seasonable weather for now. Maybe some rain tomorrow. Let's check your first warn forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. Alex?
Eric, southern Wisconsin could actually get a little bit on the loud side as we go into Thursday night. We got thunderstorms in the forecast. This is what it could look like Thursday at 11 o'clock. Widespread showers and a few thunderstorms across southern Wisconsin. We're not expecting severe weather, but we can't rule out a little bit of small hail and some brief heavy rainfall and frequent lightning if these thunderstorms do in fact materialize, and anywhere from 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of water is expected because the line will come through rather quickly. So that's a change in the forecast across southern Wisconsin. Another change, right now it's 55. I got my jacket on. I'm acclimating here. We were near 80 degrees not too long ago, so this feels significantly cooler, but this is what you would expect for this time of year. Temperatures right around 56 for a normal high temperature, and 55 to 57 is a very common number in Dane County. Temperatures tonight dipping down into the 40s by the time you join me for your 10 o'clock newscast. Then coming up in Maine weather, we've got another weather system to talk about as we get a little bit closer to Halloween. Will it impact Halloween? I'll let you know.
Alex, thank you. Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance heading back to Wisconsin next week. The Trump campaign says Senator Vance will speak at the Racine Memorial Hall Monday evening at 5:30. He's expected to tout former President Trump's plan for the economy, also expected to encourage Wisconsinites to vote early for the Trump-Vance ticket. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now asking the U.S. Supreme Court to remove him from the ballot in Wisconsin. Kennedy argues Wisconsin is violating his First Amendment rights by keeping his name as a choice for voters. Kennedy suspended his independent presidential campaign in August and endorsed former President Donald Trump, but this was done after the deadline to get his name removed from the ballot in Wisconsin. Kennedy is attempting to get his name removed from ballots in battleground states, but has simultaneously told supporters they can vote for him in other states where third-party and independent candidates are unlikely to influence the outcome. We are continuing our 3 for the People coverage of the Madison City referendum, and tonight we We look into how a day-to-day service, brush collection, could change with a no vote. Our Ellie LaLiberte spoke to the city streets department to see what it could mean for you. Ellie?
Yeah, Eric, street maintenance is one of several services that could potentially be impacted by that city referendum. And that referendum is asking voters to raise the property tax levy to address a $22 million structural deficit in the city's operating budget. If voters don't approve a tax increase, it could mean a change to your brush collection.
We're kind of at a point where less means less with what we can provide.
Budget cuts are nothing new for Madison Street Division, but this year, less services could mean more leaves. Brian Johnson is the Street Division spokesperson, a department that could lose services if the Madison City referendum isn't passed. He says the division has trimmed everything they can out of the budget in previous years.
We've kind of maxed that out.
Now, if the referendum fails, brush drop-off site availability will be reduced, the free mulch program will end, and brush collection will be restricted to just 3 times at the curb. So if residents need more,
that means they would have to use private services then, which will charge them more than what we're able to do it.
But Johnson says it's the only option to avoid cuts to snow removal services.
These are the choices that we have to make without sacrificing some like public safety and other really core needs that we have.
Some are willing to see a rise in taxes to save programs like brush collection and library hours.
I guess for me, I voted yes on the referendums. I would like to see investment in our resources.
While others are voting no.
It doesn't feel fair to ask them to pay more when they're struggling to stay in their homes as it is. I would like them to see them exhaust other options.
Johnson says voters have the ultimate decision.
I cannot try to convince someone to vote yes or no about this. If we choose this path, this happens. If you choose this path, that happens. And you can just choose your own adventure.
Now, for more information of all of the services that could be impacted and how the referendum will raise your taxes, you can visit channel3000.com.
Ellie, thank you. Coming up on News 3 Now at 6, the IRS releasing tax inflation adjustments for the tax year 2025. Plus, Wisconsin prepares for another drug take-back day, how you can help the cause.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
At Gruber Law Offices, we know how to win. Real cases, real results. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
How extreme is Todd Novak? He thinks a woman's most private medical decisions should be up to him. Todd Novak has a 100% anti-abortion rating. He supports letting politicians ban abortion with no exceptions for rape, incest, or to save a woman's life. And Todd Novak authored the law to ban abortion here in Wisconsin. Elizabeth Grabe will defend abortion rights. She knows private medical decisions are between women and their doctors.
Eric Hovde has a problem with the truth. Time and again, his ads have been called false. He's a desperate candidate, willing to say anything. But here's what's true. Eric Hovde has a plan to slash Social Security 28%, Medicare 25%, veterans benefits 40%, all to spend $4 trillion on tax breaks for rich guys like himself. Eric Hovde's lying, and he's not for us.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Thursday at 10, crime is a hot-button issue for voters and the candidates. I'm taking a deep dive into the state of criminal justice here in Wisconsin and the impact it could have on you and your wallet. 3 for the People, Thursday on News 3 Now at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Early voting is underway in Wisconsin. Many cities in Dane County are already seeing high early turnout. Our Jalen Banks caught up with the Verona City Clerk on what they've seen so far, and he joins us now from their City Hall. Jalen?
Good evening, Eric. So the
In-person early voting just wrapped up here in Verona about an hour. I've been here since about 1 p.m. around lunchtime, and when I was here this afternoon and throughout that portion of the day, the line was pushing up against this main entrance here, not so much spilling out into the parking lot area, but it was pretty significant amount of people here. But speaking with Verona City Clerk, they tell me that the amount of early voting in-person turnout they've seen so far is unlike they've seen in years.
I've been doing this for 10 years, and it's definitely the highest number of voters I've ever seen come through in a single day.
That is the sentiment at Verona City Hall after early in-person voting kicked off in Wisconsin on Tuesday.
We saw 520 voters come through yesterday on the first day of in-person voting.
Those 520 voters are nearly a quarter of registered voters in Verona.
In Verona, we've already seen 22% of registered voters have already voted, so that's definitely going to take some of the pressure off us on Election Day just from the number of voters coming through the doors, making sure we have enough people to check in-person voters on Election Day, to making sure that we have enough people to check in absentee ballots on Election Day.
Early high voter turnout is being seen not just in Verona, but throughout the state. The Wisconsin Election Commission releasing a statement Tuesday saying due to higher than expected voter turnout, the city clerks experienced periods of slowness with the WISC vote system.
Actually switched to a paper process instead because it was taking us at least 5 minutes to check in a voter. So once the line got to the point where we were out the door, we switched over to kind of a manual process where we hand wrote everything.
The State Election Commission releasing an update this evening saying, quote, the Wisconsin Elections Commission is aware of reports that some municipal clerks are continuing to experience slowness when printing labels that can be placed on the outside of in-person absentee certificate envelopes. Now, you can find that full statement on our website at channel3000.com, but these delays and issues with the WISC vote system and these updates from the Election Commission is something to keep an eye out on as we inch closer to Election Day. But for now, reporting live in Verona, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, Jalen, thank you. Madison's police chief will be sticking around at least for a little while longer. The San Jose Mercury News reporting Sean Barnes was a finalist for the open chief position in the city of San Jose. Barnes has been chief in Madison since 2021. You may remember it's the second time he has pursued a job in another city. Last year, he made the top 3 for the Chicago chief position. After he lost out on that, he told News 3 Now he's blessed to work in the city of Madison. Prescription drug misuse is becoming a growing concern across the nation. To combat that, Dane County is participating in National Prescription Drug Take Back Day. Once again, this Saturday, you can help the cause, getting rid of any unwanted or unneeded prescription drugs left in your cabinets. Earlier today, we heard from the state attorney general on how simple this process is.
This process just takes minutes. After you've disposed of those medications, law enforcement will then take care of safely disposing of them.
Well, there are more than 155 events around Wisconsin. 3 of those will be in Madison, at Elver Park, Warner Park, and at Mount Zion Baptist Church. You can find other drug take-back sites at doseofrealitywi.gov. The IRS announcing some notable changes for tax year 2025. For single tax filers or those married but filing separately, the standard deduction will go up $400 from 2024 to $15,000. For married couples filing jointly, the standard deduction will increase to $30,000, a jump of $800 from 2024. And for heads of households, the standard deduction will be $22,500. That's an increase of $600 from 2024. Now, these policies, we should point out, will apply to income earned next year, which means it'll affect tax returns in 2026. When we come back, we take a sneak peek at Beloit's newest entertainment venue opening soon. Plus, the city of Madison releasing this year's rankings for food carts. Who came out on top and what the rankings mean for next year. And we could see the return of the rain tomorrow. Alex returns his full forecast when we come back.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
WIN Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
When I was 5, I began getting sexually abused by my stepfather. And he got me pregnant when I was 12. 64,000 pregnancies from rape have occurred in states with total abortion bans. And Trump did this. Women and girls need to have choices. With Kamala Harris, we do.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
I'm working harder than ever just to pay the bills and provide for my family. But here's what Kamala Harris thought my money should go to instead. Job training for illegal immigrants, even after they commit crimes in America. Hotel rooms for illegal immigrants while our vets sleep on the street. Sex changes for illegal immigrants out of my pocket. Seriously, have these people lost their mind? Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Transform your space with Shaw Vinyl Plank Flooring. It's waterproof, durable, and features an attached pad for added comfort. Manor Hill Vinyl Plank Flooring is $2.99 a square foot after rebate. You need reliable appliances to help you conquer the day. Menards has the largest in-stock appliance selection, ready to take home today. Save over $1,000 on this Maytag laundry pair after sale price and 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
The results are in for this year's food cart review period in Madison from September 9th through October 5th. 22 people were tasked with reviewing food carts applying for next year's vending season. A total of 38 vendors applied for this year's review, which is a required step to be eligible for a spot next year in the mall concourse vending area. That's the area generally located along the Capitol Square to the Library Mall. And the top scoring food carts will get first pick at where they set up at the start of the next vending season in April.
It really just shows the diversity of who lives in Madison. It tells people stories from around the world and where they might have been born or their history of their culture. And many of them bring that forward within their food. It's how they tell their stories. We're really, really fortunate in Madison.
Well, this year's highest ranked cart is Circo, which serves Peruvian cuisine. You can find the full results on the City of Madison website under Street Vending. Time is running out to volunteer for our Coats for Kids distribution events. They'll take place on Friday the 25th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County in Fitchburg, Madison, and also in Sun Prairie. People can pick out a winter coat and other winter apparel from the event for free. Meanwhile, volunteers can sign up to help by emailing the Boys and Girls Club volunteer coordinator, and we have a link to that email. You can find it at our website, channel3000.com. A good chance we'll get some rain tomorrow night. Alex joins us now with a complete forecast. And did you say noisy, too?
Noisy, thunder.
Thunder.
Yep, tomorrow night, don't be surprised to see some vivid lightning, get some thunder. We could even get a little small hail out of this weather system. We could use the raindrops. How fast this weather system comes through will bear a big impact on how much water we get. No water out there right now. It's dry. It's comfortable outside for this time of year. 55, that's where we should be. Dew point is 31. That's as cold as we can get. So when the dew point gets down there, that's a sign that our temperatures can get as cold as 31, which means there's a chance for frost as our winds start to die down and skies clear out. Temperatures falling down into the lower 40s by the time we get to 10 o'clock. Here's our expected low temperatures tonight and what you wake up to Thursday morning. 31 in Lone Rock, 37 in Baraboo, 35 in Madison, and even that 34 in Janesville. Low to mid 30s, you still run the risk of having the potential for some patchy frost to wake up to Thursday morning, but that burns off quickly. Temperatures back up into the low to mid, perhaps even a couple of upper 60s over portions of southwestern Wisconsin as clouds stream in ahead of that weather system that Eric was just mentioning could bring some decent amount of rain and some thunder to parts of southern Wisconsin. We need the rain. Where you see green on this calendar here for October, that's all the rain that we've seen across southern Wisconsin, or I should say at least in Madison. We've only had a little bit over 0.22 inches of rain here, 0.2, and we should have approaching 2 inches of rain at this point in October. So we'll take those raindrops. Good chance of rain once we get to about 9 o'clock on Thursday night, carrying on into the early morning hours on Friday. Eventually, once we get towards about 6 o'clock Friday morning, the rain chances go down. So it's a quick bout of rain that we're expecting across southern Wisconsin. Here's how it could play out. Future track, scattered showers and thunderstorms out towards the Mississippi River, Dells, Madison, and West at 8 o'clock. Quickly moving across southern Wisconsin. Looks a little bit on the fierce side as we head towards 11 o'clock, but we're not expecting severe weather. Small hail could accompany a few of those thunderstorms. Then it's out of here. By the time we get towards 4 o'clock in the morning, just maybe a few showers left over down towards Janesville and over towards Walworth County, leading us towards a fall-like weekend. 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rain across southern Wisconsin. We'll take that, certainly. If the weather system were to lag on a little longer, we'd get a little bit more water out of it. But because of the speed of the weather system, 1/4 to 1/2 inch is about where we'll max out with this weather system. The temperatures and water have been our weather story for some time. We've just been on a roller coaster with our temperatures. 82 degrees on October 11th. I'll get out of the way here and look at how our temperatures dipped as we head into the middle of the month and then right back up to near 80 degrees just a few days ago. And we have more warm weather on the way here. After a fall-like weekend, look at Tuesday. High temperature up all the way to 77. Look at the low temperature waking up to Tuesday morning. It could be as warm as 60 degrees. And that's with a weather system that we're going to keep a close eye on, because as we move towards Wednesday, that cold front comes through before Halloween. Halloween's looking dry. But this weather system Tuesday and Wednesday will be something we need to keep an eye on. It looks like it's going to be a strong storm, likely Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. That cold front timing is a bit unclear. However, if that cold front does come through during peak heating Wednesday afternoon, we could be looking at the potential for a couple of strong thunderstorms in southern Wisconsin before we get to a quiet Halloween.
Alex, thank you. Construction is wrapping up on a new entertainment hotspot in downtown Beloit. Henry Doorbakers brings a mix of old school charm and modern fun. The name comes from the man who opened Beloit's first bowling alley way back in 1899. The 20,000 square foot space will have a wide variety of pub food and games, including race simulators, duck pin bowling, and a 9-hole mini golf course, just to name a few.
We don't really have the density in Beloit to just have a single thing. So putting multiple attractions into one area where everybody can kind of a one-stop shop entertainment would work for our area.
And you won't have to wait much longer. Henry Doorbakers plans to open on November 18th. All ages will be welcome until 8 at night, and that's when it becomes 21 and older only.
And coming up in sports, we're giving the big guys some love in this week's Bucky's Beast. See that next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Out of money, I know. What are you, when you're rich as hell? We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
The seasons are changing and winter's on the horizon. Let the experts at Feldco get your roofing project off the ground before the snow moves in. Right now, get 30% off roofing plus no money down and no interest for 1 year. It's the perfect time to replace your roof with Feldco. You'll make a valuable upgrade to your home with roofing designed specifically for the Midwest's toughest weather. 30% off roofing ends soon. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The
These Baldwin ads are nasty.
I can't stand them.
She never tells the truth. Now she says Eric Hovde wants to raise the retirement age.
That's malarkey.
I saw in the news Social Security will be going bankrupt in 8 years.
Are you kidding? We need Social Security.
You're surprised? Washington spends money like crazy.
And Baldwin supports all of it.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
You better get a job.
You get a job.
Technology is everywhere, and our kids are embracing it to learn, play, and socialize. But with endless ways to access the digital world, monitoring their screen time can be tough. So SSM Health and News 3 Now created the Time for Kids digital playbook. Join us on air and online for stories and strategies to help your family navigate, set rules, and stay safe in the ever-evolving digital age. Let's focus on tech together by taking Time for Kids.
Wisconsin's offense did something it hadn't done in over a decade. Rack up 500-plus yards in back-to-back Big Ten games, and it was all made possible by the big guys up front. Let's meet Wisconsin's Avengers. On the outside, you've got Jack Knock-'em-Down Nelson and Riley the Mauler Molman. Then guarding the interior of the O-line, it's Joe Hercules Huber and Joe Brunner the Bruiser. And making the unit go, well, it's the man himself, Jake Run-You-Over Renfro. And the Fantastic Five played bully ball in Piscataway. Check out the Bruiser. Hits his guys so hard he gets whiplash, and then for good measure, he lifts Towie Walker up like it's nothing. Then it's the Mauler's turn. He gets to the second level, and it's over. The big gaping hole sets Walker free, and he knows it.
Watch him, number 71, bam!
They were handing out pancakes like they worked at Paul Bunyan's in the Dells. And for that, we're showing the linemen some love. These big old Badgers are our beasts of the week. Got to give those big guys some love every once in a while. And hey, don't forget to check out this week's Wisconsin Huddle with Towie Walker. We preview UW's big game against Penn State and much more. Show airs Friday at 6:30 right here on News 3
Man,
Now.
heck of a job from the strength coach. He's really make them different these days. Final check of the forecast with Alex.
Sure, we need some rain, and we're going to get some rain Thursday night, looking widespread. Don't be surprised tomorrow morning to wake up to a little bit of frost and a seasonable weekend ahead, fall-like. Comfortable temperatures this weekend. We warm to 60 by Sunday. That's a thing of a hint to come by the time we get to Monday. Near 70, near 80 again on Tuesday. Overnight low temperatures Monday night could be near 60, and that could spell the potential for some strong storms as we go to Wednesday of next week.
We're in that wild transition period. Everything happens.
Yeah.
Alex, thanks. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll be back tonight for News 3 Now at 10.